In this section, we're going to talk about planting equipment. You'll need planting bags to carry your seedlings comfortably and efficiently. You'll need a shovel to plant the trees. On some contracts, you may need Silvacool inserts to protect the trees on hot days. And finally, you'll need a plot cord to measure your own density to help keep your efforts on track. Your planting bags are your personal gear. You'll use them every day until they start to rot and fall apart, although the smart planters buy newer bags before that point to maximize comfort. It still amazes me that some people will try to save $70 by using a tattered old set of bags that's held together with rope and duct tape with no padding remaining, instead of just buying a comfortable new set with good padding. You're going to be wearing your bags for probably 600 or 700 hours in a season. That's about 10 cents an hour for your bags if you use them for a single season, or 5 cents an hour if you use them for 2 seasons. To me, it makes sense to spend a few pennies per hour to be more comfortable. Planting bags usually have 3 pouches fastened to a waist strap. The waist strap should have a piece of padding on it to cushion the weight as it's resting on your hips. There's a plastic buckle on the front of the bags to strap yourself in and to prevent the bags from shifting and sliding around. They also have a set of shoulder straps to help redistribute some of the weight and take it off your hips. It's also possible to buy a set of bags with 4 pouches instead of just 3. These are usually called 4-baggers instead of 3-baggers. There are advantages and disadvantages to getting 4-baggers. They distribute the weight around your waist somewhat more evenly, so they're slightly more comfortable. The extra pouch sometimes makes it easier to carry extra gear with you, such as raincoats or extra trees. However, they also weigh a tiny bit more than 3-baggers. Not much more, but every ounce counts when you're strapping on a full load of trees. 4-baggers are more expensive, probably by an extra $30 or so. 4-baggers used to be virtually unknown in the interior for many years, although a very large percentage of coastal planters have always used them because they're especially handy when planting multiple species. In the past couple of years, more interior planters have discovered that they can be pretty convenient. Make sure that all the buckles are adjusted properly when you get your bags. Many first-year planters assume that they're set up properly by the manufacturer. However, everybody's body is different. The waist strap can obviously be adjusted in size. Also, there are 4 straps attached to the shoulder straps, 2 on the front and 2 on the back, which you should play with. Make sure everything fits fairly snugly with no loose and floppy straps. Make sure the left and right straps are even on both the front and the back. If you have problems with your waist buckle popping open when you bend over, which may start to happen more frequently after you've had the bags for quite a while, you can go to a junkyard and buy an old seatbelt buckle to replace the plastic waist buckle. It's important right now to talk about your back. You'll get a sore back from planting trees. It's inevitable. Your back muscles are just like any other muscles, and they need a workout to become stronger. After a week or 2, once the muscles get a lot stronger, it won't hurt so much. One of the problems for your back is bending over. You'll be bending over at least 1,000 times a day at the start, and several thousand times per day once you get faster. That's a lot of bending for your back. But that's okay, your back is designed for that. However, your bags can cause a problem. If your shoulder straps are adjusted properly and they fit snugly on your body when you stand up, they can put extra strain on your back when you bend over. Also, as you're walking around, if there's a lot of weight on your shoulder straps, this weight will act unevenly on your spine as you move. That makes your lower back sore. There's a solution. You can really tighten up your waist belt and put a lot more weight onto your hips. Loosen your shoulder straps a bit, and it takes some of the pressure off of your upper body. The drawback with doing this is that your upper legs have to work a lot harder. Your legs will become more sore instead of your back. It's basically a balancing act. You can put all the pressure on your hips and legs if you want by not wearing shoulder straps at all. You can put a lot of pressure on your upper body, which gives a bit of relief to your upper legs. Or you can do a mix of both, so neither part of your body is taking all of the workload. Obviously, no matter what, your legs still have to carry all the weight, regardless of how you have things set up. It just feels heavier on your legs if you have no weight on your shoulder straps. If you're getting a sore lower back when you start planting, don't worry, that's normal. But if it's really bothering you, get rid of the shoulder straps right away and see if your back starts to feel better after a couple days. Incidentally, in many cases, the best remedy for a sore back is exercise, as long as the soreness is caused solely by tight muscles that are getting a new workout. Females have different body shapes than males. For females, the breasts usually get in the way of the shoulder straps a bit more. There's an upper cross strap on your bags that goes across your chest. Most females leave this very loose or don't use it to keep their shoulder straps from rubbing against their chest so much. Also, many females have stronger upper legs than guys because of their childbearing hips. A much higher percentage of females will avoid using shoulder straps altogether compared to males. Do whatever's most comfortable for you. As you bend over with a load of trees, there isn't usually a lot of strain on your back from the weight in your side bags. However, any weight in your back bag on a 3-bagger needs to be lifted more when you bend over. For this reason, you should really try to avoid putting much weight into your back bag if you're having back issues. 4-baggers are a little bit better on the back because the 2 back bags are offset instead of putting all the weight directly into the center of your back. Shovels come in a variety of styles, lengths, and weights. When it comes to choosing a shovel, you essentially have 2 choices, what's called a D-handle or what's called a staff handle. A staff handle is essentially a straight handle. This used to be a common shovel in Ontario, although planters in Ontario have mainly switched to using D-handle shovels. A staff shovel is taller and therefore heavier than a D-handle. There are a few minor advantages to staff handles. The length gives you a bit more leverage when trying to wiggle the shovel blade into rocky ground. It may be used as a walking stick for better balance on difficult ground. Also, its design means that it reduces the impact to the wrist and arms, especially on rocky sites or compact soils. However, even though the staff handle offers advantages to the wrist and arms in rocky ground, those advantages may be more than offset by the strain of the additional weight of the shovel compared to a D-handle. The D-handle is short and lighter, therefore carrying it around all day causes less strain on the arm. It's slightly easier if you're doing helicopter work because the handle can be clipped through the belt buckle on your planting bags to make sure it doesn't fall out of a sling. Also, with the proper tools, the shovel length can still be adjusted quite easily. You'll find that about 99% of planters in BC use D-handle shovels. There's another type of shovel called the ergonomic D-handle, which has a slanted handle shaped differently than the traditional D-handle. Although this shovel handle should be more effective than regular D-handles at minimizing potential MSIs, very few planters seem to use this type of shovel. In addition, there's one specific problem with this type of shovel. I recommend that planters learn to plant ambidextrously, and that just isn't possible with the ergonomic D-handle. Once you've picked your style, you can look at the length and weight of the shovel. Many planters say that lighter is better, while others suggest that a bit of extra weight can help increase the momentum required to drive the shovel into hard ground. Some people cut the kicker off of one side of the shovel to save a few extra grams of weight. I personally don't see a huge benefit in this, and sometimes it's nice to have both of your kickers available, but you can make that decision on your own. If you decide to shorten the shaft a bit, that will save a few ounces of weight. That's probably a good idea for a lot of people. However, be sure before cutting it that you have the proper hacksaw blade for the job. Some shovel shafts are metal and some are fiberglass. Most camp supervisors should have all the tools required to take a shovel apart to shorten it. Don't cut off too much at once. Cut off a couple inches and try it out for a few days. You can always come back and cut more off later if you think it's still too long. But if you cut too much off the first time, you just can't lengthen it again. Your foreman and your trainer can show you more in person, and they can perhaps let you try holding a couple of different shovels. When you go to buy gear, your foreman will probably accompany you to make sure that you get the right items.
You should have Silvicool inserts for any bag that you might use to carry trees. You'll want at least 2 inserts, and I'd recommend 3. If you have 4 baggers, you don't necessarily need 4 inserts unless you're positive you're going to carry trees in all 4 pouches. I usually use one of the 4 pouches just for things like small water bottles, plot cord, a waterproof pack with antihistamines, and my raincoat. Of course, an insert can keep these things a bit more clean and dry, although inserts aren't even necessary on coastal contracts. You do need a plot cord. These are cheap, only around $10 or so, and made out of clothesline. Some people try to save money by making a plot cord out of rope. That usually doesn't work so well. It might disappear from your bags when someone uses it to tie up their tent. Just buy a plot cord. Every planter should carry a plot cord in their bags all the time when they're on the block. Throw several quick plots on yourself to check your density regularly. It takes less than a minute to throw a quick plot to check your density, and it's a good time investment. I usually throw 4 plots on myself each day because I'd rather do that than spend hours replanting. For your first couple weeks when you're just starting out, you'll need to throw a lot more than just 4 plots on yourself each day. You can buy a small waterproof tally book which costs very little. The cool thing about this is that you can write on it in the rain with a pencil. The paper in it is waterproof paper, often called duckback paper. That's duck, like the bird, not duck, like the tape. A lot of planters carry a small Tupperware container in their day bag with their tally book, a few pencils, and antihistamines or painkillers. I'm going to take a moment now to talk to you about the 4 main types of gear you're going to need to purchase before the season starts. That's a plot cord, Silvicool inserts, a shovel, and planting bags. This is what your plot cord will look like, and it is 3.99 meters in length. On one end, you're going to have a loop that goes over top of your shovel, and you're going to use the rest of this to spin a plot. This is what your inserts are going to look like, and they are used to keep your trees cool on a warm day, and on rainy days they can double to keep your planting, your rain gear, or anything else that's important for you dry. So they just do it like that. You're also going to need a shovel, and these are 2 Bush Pro D-handle shovels. This one is obviously a lot shorter than this one. As a first-year planter, you're going to probably prefer using a longer shovel. There are 2 screws here that you can take off and shorten your shovel if you choose, but make sure you do that in small increments because it is irreversible. So Bush Pro and Workwiser both are manufacturers for planting shovels, and they are both great to use. This here is a 4-bagger planting bags. So when you put them on, you're going to want to put the buckles right on your waist. It is important for your planting bags to sit on top of your waist, not on your hips. So you're probably going to have to bring in the buckles quite significantly from how it comes. The planting bags are also going to have this padding. So you've got one for your right and left side over top of your hips, and there's Velcro on the inside and Velcro on the inside of your bags, and that just goes on there to help reduce some of the weight and distribute it equally. You're also going to have one that goes on your lower back. So again, you would just put that in right in there for comfort. Your planting bags are also going to come with shoulder straps, and not all planters wear shoulder straps. Oftentimes females who have a lower center of gravity, perhaps wider hips, feel like they don't need shoulder straps. I encourage you to try them and feel it out, see what works for you. So you've got the Bush Pro logo, that's going to go behind you, and there are straps here with the loops at the back of your planting bags, and that's what you're going to strap into. And then you have your front straps in here. Now it's important for these shoulder straps to be on top of your shoulders and not for this to be supporting the weight on your stomach, because obviously you want to support the weight higher up on top of your shoulders. So this is going to loop in about a third of the way on your planting bags. You have these loops that loops into, and you've got this chest strap as well. Some people like to keep it open depending on their own comfort level. Other people like to keep it nice and tighter for more structure. It's important not to tie a knot at the end of this because your body may change over the season and you might be consistently readjusting your planting bags. This here is what your 3-baggers would look like. So obviously they're a bit smaller, but they are lighter also to carry. So Bush Pro is really the industry standard for planting bags, and that's really what you'll see all planters wearing.
You'll need an extensive list of non-planting gear, both in terms of clothing and other things. I already touched on this briefly in the section on PPE. For clothing, you'll need boots, socks, pants, long underwear for when it's cold, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, gloves, and rain gear. Also, a sun hat and a good fleece both come in pretty handy. You may also want a set of town clothes, such as a light pair of hikers, so you don't have to wear your heavy work boots on days off. Other items that planters often own include things like a knife, duct tape, a wind-up flashlight, toiletries, sunscreen, fingernail clippers, a tent, sleeping bag, a foamy for under your sleeping bag, a day bag or backpack, insect repellent, an alarm clock, and so on. Now obviously not all of these are items that you'll bring to the block every day. Your best bet for learning more about gear is to go to websites like replant.ca or treeplanter.com and check out the recommended gear lists there. The online message boards have very lengthy discussions about the best gear to bring and the best brands. I wouldn't want to presume to tell you what to bring and what not to bring. Everyone seems to have wildly different opinions on the best stuff to pack for a season of planting.